Sihle. Hello, Sihle.
Hayi kunjani?
Unjani?
Ngiyaphila. Oyi-2 magama wami.
So we can pick and choose.
Yeah, you choose
You can
which
pick
one
and choose.
suits me the best.
Alright.
Okay,
Okay, I
la
think
ngenze unumber
yeah.
C, no-number D, no-number F. Le enye ngishiye iphepha lami emsebenzini.
Okay.
Think unumber bani le efuna ama-factors nayo ngiyenzile.
Qualitative
So
factors.
yes, leyo nayo ngiyenzile.
So
Think bengisele
you're
ngale
done, Mus.
ye-memorandum. No, bengisele ngale ye-memorandum mostly because bengayizwisisi ukuthi kuze ngi-structure kanjani.
All right, I understand. Pindi, how far are you?
With the assignment.
Oh,
shame, I haven't even started.
okay, it's okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
All right. Okay, guys. We can start. Assignment then is too heavy and it's too long, guys. Ne? It's too heavy and it's too long. So for you guys who are doing MSc 3701, as I was saying, 3761, I mean, sorry, I just need to check with someone. Thanks for talking. Yes, in ilento kanzake i-assignment ne-test yakho, they get to be set in one department. So eyakho, the only thing, assignment is going to be out of 100, ne? But now you can get a feeling of uguti, what is it that you might expect. So you can use this as a revision together with the questions that are in your question bank. Okay. So another thing that's very important when it comes to this, guys, it's, I think you've seen this assignment is out of 100, Pindi. Did you see that, Sihle?
Yeah.
Out of 100. So out of 100, I think they're writing about 50 or 40. Yeah, so this should be a very good, nice exercise. You know what I'm saying? But let's start with our required. Our required for number one, they said calculate your budgeted break-even sales units per product type for the 2023 financial year. 16 marks. Right? And this is not a new thing, guys. We've done a break-even, your actual and your budgeted. And then they said ignore the implications, if any, of opening and closing inventory. Okay, and then the second one, they said prepare your actual statement of profit or loss for the 2023 financial year. The statement of profit or loss must include a column of each product and a total column. Round your final amounts to the nearest rand. Identify and briefly discuss any 5 ethical, social, environmental, and business-related risks that SN was exposed to during the 2023 financial year. And then they want us to calculate AMA variances, standard costing of sales volume variance. They want the direct labor idle time variance per product type and in total. And then they want your labor clock rate variance per product type. And then they want the lithium purchase price variance for ECB only. Draft a memorandum to SN manage. Okay, SN management wants to understand the short-term impact of upgrading the factory and purchasing new state-of-the-art machinery. From a quantitative perspective, advise SN on whether to upgrade the factory and purchase new state-of-the-art machinery during the 2024 financial year. This should not be a problem because this is relevant costing. This is the topic that we're busy with. And it's only the last part that is remaining. So with the notes that you already have, you should be able to answer this question. And then for structure memorandum yako, you will get 2 marks. So in total, it's 12 marks. And then they want us to briefly discuss 3 qualitative factors that SN should consider before deciding to upgrade the existing factory. Question F, briefly discuss 5 qualitative factors SN should consider before acquiring A and B. Determine the budgeted minimum transfer price per 1 lithium battery at which ABD will be willing to transfer the required batteries. I haven't done any notes for these ones, but it's not too bad. We can be able to do it. Okay, let's see how far can we go then, guys. Guys, please confirm if you can hear me loud and clear. Can you guys hear me?
Thank you.
Yeah, I can.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, and then let's go back to reading our scenario. I think for us, I don't know if this is the right thing, right? But remember that we are using this for learning purposes and also teaching you the skills, okay? So I didn't want us to read everything. I didn't want us to read everything because I know by the time we get to the end of the question, most of you guys, you will have maybe forgotten what we started with. So what we're going to do, because this question is divided in sections, what we're going to do, please have the question open on your side. And then what I will do, I'll read just to scenario number 1, right? And then we go and answer, right? And then after that, we go to scenario number 2, kanjalo kanjalo. So let me read scenario number 1. As soon as I'm done with scenario number 1, guys, have it open because I'm going to start sharing my Excel so that we can start answering. Question 1, 180 minutes. They said Sheshanami Ltd is a well-established electronic bicycle manufacturing company operating its plant and distribution center in MP, South Africa. The company has a male-dominated management team, right, and is well known for its quality products and commitment to sustainability. SN Sheshanami makes 2 types of electrical bikes, named the electrical mountain bike and the electric city bike. The mountain bike has a bigger frame and tires than the city bike to provide stability and control for more rugged terrains, right? List Alona, guys, what is she saying? Yes. She's asking if we've got a class today. I just sent it most on the group. What did they have? I just want to check out my questions. Calculate the total budgeted selling cost, and then calculate budgeted optimal production mix. Calculate budgeted break-even point for 6 marks. Determine the following: applied fixed manufacturing overhead and closing inventory. Calculate the sales margin volume variance and provide possible reasons. And then discuss 2 differences between traditional costing and ABC. You see, it's the same thing. And then it was out of 40 marks. And then when I hear you're doing out of 100. So, guys, it's doable, this thing. Very much doable. But let's continue. Okay, both bikes make use of an electronic motor, right, powered by a battery to assist with propulsion. SN makes use of an absorption costing system, and all of its inventory items are valued using the FIFO method. SN is a 31 December financial year end. SN standard and budgeted information for the 2023 financial year. We've got inventory and manufacturing. The company had no budgeted opening and closing inventory for any type, right? Oh yes, sorry. I was now thinking of question B when they're talking about this, and this is budgeted. SN budgeted to manufacture the electronic bikes in direct proportion to its standard sales mix. The budgeted manufacturing levels for the 2023 financial year were equal to the company's normal manufacturing capacity. Okay. Sales. SN budgeted to sell 24,000 mountain bikes and 16,000 city bikes units. One bike is equal to 1 unit. This is very important, guys. I remember even in our first question, in your question bank 1, I said you must always identify how much is your 1 unit. Is it 2 kgs? Is it 5 kgs? Is it in liters? Remember the first question that we started with, our 1 unit was equal to 25 liters. And here they are very specific that your 1 bike is equals to 1 unit. Okay, the budgeted selling price per unit for mountain bike and city bike was 28,000 and 26,000 respectively. Variable and fixed costs. The e-bike manufacturing starts with the frame and suspension made from aluminium. The frame and suspension are produced according to the bike's design and specification using various cutting and bonding machinery. Once the frame and suspension are ready, various components, which is your wheels, brakes, drivetrain, and other components are attached to the frame. The key components that differentiate e-bikes from traditional bikes or bicycles are the electronic motor and lithium battery, which are integrated into the bike's frame. SN Sheshanami employs factory workers for the manufacturing and assembly process. The standard is to allow 8% idle time for these direct laborers. Variable cost, the standard variable cost requirements for 1 mountain bike and 1 city bike unit are aluminum, it's 1.8 kilogram for mountain bike and 1.5 kilogram for city bike. And the budgeted price, very important, they said it's 42,000 per ton, not per kg. So you should be able to convert your kilograms into, convert your tons into kilograms. Then you've got an electronic motor, which is 3,800 per motor. And mountain bike requires 1 electronic motor, and the city bike also requires 1 electronic motor. Lithium battery, 1 battery for mountain bike and 1 battery for city bike, and the cost of our battery is 6,000 rand per battery. Various components for mountain bike, we need 1.1 component sets, and then for city bike, it's 1 component set, and 1 component set, it's 12,500. Direct labor, it's 90 clock minutes per bike, 90 clock minutes per bike, and our budgeted price per clock hour, very important, it's 105. Variable manufacturing overhead, it's 45 minutes, 45 machine hours, and it's 18 rand per machine hour. Selling and distribution, they said we must go to note number 4, but you've got the budgeted price per bike, which is 50 rand. This part was very important because you've got selling and distribution, which is your fixed one, and then you've got your selling and distribution, which is your variable one, because they're saying it's 50 rand per bike. Then your fixed cost, they said fixed manufacturing overhead costs are allocated based on the budgeted labor hours, and the total budgeted fixed manufacturing overhead were 20,100. Selling and distribution costs, were budgeted to be 3 million for the year, and then they're saying for the year, meaning it's going to be fixed for the entire year. Administrative costs, increased environmental regulations have highlighted some concerns around SnCO2 emissions due to greenhouse gases that are released during the welding process. Additionally, SN's lack of a recycling strategy as an area of concern due to its use of non-recyclable materials during manufacturing was underlined. As a result, management budgeted fixed administrative cost of 15 million for the year to accommodate the increased compliance cost. Okay. And then there we've got our actual results. Okay. So let me then open a spreadsheet and share with you guys. Present something. Okay. Let me do this. Let me separate the pages in this way. Okay. So the first one, they said we must calculation of the budgeted break-even units per product type for the 2023 financial year. Okay, so guys, in this case, you don't have to mute seriously because we need to engage, right? Because if you're all on mute, I'm not sure if you guys are learning or you are just listening. Can you please unmute so that we all engage? Angsho, guys. Okay. What's the formula, guys, for break even? What's the formula, guys, for break even? As I said, that especially for Unzi Kino, no Pindi, this is not a new thing. I remember it was even there on our very, very first question that we did. What's your formula?
Hold on.
I must hold on. I must hold on.
Yeah.
Come on. This is supposed to be on top of your head, my friend.
Okay. It's not.
Hmm?
It's not.
Why? Hmm? What's happening? Why? Hmm? It's like, where's the formula?
I don't know.
Hmm?
I don't know it by head. I have to check my notes.
And we are writing this month, ne?
Yes.
Hmm? Okay. Come on, guys. Please give yourself time, ne?
Mhm.
Pindi,
Yes.
You can't do that, my friend. Give yourself time. Take at least a leave day and push. Break-even units is equals to total, very important, total fixed costs divided by weighted contribution, right? And your weighted contribution, or let's say contribution, is equals to sales less. Very important. I didn't say variable manufacturing cost. I'm saying variable cost. There's a difference between your variable manufacturing cost and your variable costs. Okay. So let's start with our calculation number one. Okay. Our calculation number one. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with this mouse sometimes. Our calculation number one, we will calculate our total fixed costs, right? And looking at the question, what were we given then? We were given on note number, on note 1.3, right? On note 1.3, we were given our budgeted fixed manufacturing overheads, right? So we'll start with that one. Budgeted fixed manufacturing overheads, which is equals to how much is it there, guys, on note 3? Hmm?
1.3, which is 3. Mm.
Yeah, 1.3. I'm sure we just read it together. Were you guys not highlighting and when we were reading? On 1.3, on 1.3.2, you've got fixed manufacturing overheads of how much you're budgeted. It's 200 million. So you see, Pindi, this is another thing. Uguti, we have ama huge figures. At this level, we should be able to be comfortable with them. Because you'll find very, very, very big figures in the exam. Sometimes I'm a billion. So if you haven't developed a skill on how to cut almost zeros and stuff like that, you might find yourself having a huge problem there. And then on 1.4, we've got selling and distribution costs. And selling and distribution cost, it's 3 million. And then we've got administration costs on note number 5. Your administration costs, they said it's 15 million. And then those are your total fixed costs. Okay, and then in total, it's 38,100. Okay. And then we go to our calculation number 2, which is your weighted contribution. Actually, here it should be, it's fine. Let's leave it in that way. So you'll have yourselves less variable cost. I'm emphasizing this. Less variable costs. Okay, when I'm looking at our question then, not 1.2, okay, let's have, actually they said per product, right? So we've got EMTB, and then we've got ECB. Okay, they said your selling price for EMPD, it's 28,000. And then for City Bike, it's 26,000 per unit. All right. And then I'm a variable cost so they are given there. The first one is aluminium. All right, your aluminium, they said it's 1.8, 1.31, guys. That's what I'm reading. 1.8, and then if we are reading just below the variable cost there, they said the standard variable cost requirements for one, right? For one mountain bike and for one city bike. So those costs are per unit. So for aluminium, they said it's 1.8 kilogram for mountain bike and then 1.5 for city bike. The problem that we have here is that this is charged per ton, not per kg. So we must convert this to kgs. How are you going to do that one? We'll say equals to 1.8 divided by 1,000 divided by 1,000 multiplied by 42,000. And then this side, it's going to be equals to 1.5 divided by 1,000 because there's 1,000 kgs in a ton. That's the reason why I'm using 1,000 times 42,000. Any issues while we're here, Pindile?
No.
Sitle, any issues?
Nothing.
Any issues, Sitle? Okay, Ntswaki, any issues?
No.
Okay. All right. Then let's continue. And then the next one, we've got electronic motor. Electronic motor.
Yes.
For electronic motor, they said one electronic motor per unit. So that one is going to be 3.8. 3.8. All right. And then the next one, it's lithium. For lithium, they said it's 1.1 component and then one component set for that one. So this one is going to be 1.1 times 12,500. And then this side it's going to be equals to 1 times 12,500. Then the next one, it's various components. various. Oh no, guys, I made a mistake. Lithium, you guys, you see, that's why I was saying, please check with me. Lithium, it's 6,000 and it requires one battery for both. And then if various components here lay A 1.1 times 12,500 and then equals to 1.1 times 12,500. Okay. Then we've got direct labor. Direct labor, they said it's 90 clock minutes per bike and we charge 105. So it's going to be equals to 90 divided by 60 times 105. Even this side is the same thing, equals to 90 divided by 60 times 105. Then the next one, we've got variable manufacturing overheads. For variable manufacturing overheads, they said it's 45 machine minutes for both and it's 18 rand. So it's going to be equals to 45 divided by 60 times 13 equals to 45 divided by 60 times 18. Okay. And then you've got selling and distribution. That one, it was very tricky because it was not showing that it's actually variable. But how are we going to know that it's variable? Because they said 50 rand per bike. Then you've got 50 and then 50. So guys, just to explain something while I'm here, né?
50.
Just to explain something while I'm here, né?
But okay.
Yeah, you can talk.
Are you explaining
Did you want to ask something?
your contribution?
Eh?
Are you explaining selling and contribution?
Selling and contribution or selling and distribution?
And distribution.
Okay. No, I was saying if I had only calculated till here, from aluminium to your variable manufacturing overheads, this will be what is called variable cost of sales per unit. However, if you include your variable selling and distribution cost, the whole total of this is called now variable cost. Let me explain that again. So if I had only included aluminum to variable manufacturing overheads, this will be your variable cost of sales. However, the moment you include your variable selling and distribution cost, the total is now called a variable cost. And the contribution, we calculate it by saying it is your sales less your variable costs. I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right, then let's combine all of those. All of these. To F22. I don't know what's wrong with my. And then we can copy this formula and paste it to this side as formulas. All right, and then we can calculate our contribution. Our contribution will be equals to our sales less our variable cost, as we saw in our formula. Okay, any issues, guys, while we're here, Sihle?
I'm sorted. No, nothing.
Okay, it's like any issues?
No?
Pindile, any issues?
No.
Okay. All right, then let's continue. Okay. After that, what are we then going to do? We are going to calculate our sales mix. Right. Sorry, my alignment, the contribution is supposed to be here. Contribution. And then after that, we calculate our sales mix. Our sales mix, they said the budget, right? The budget, we budgeted to sell 24,000 units of mountain bikes, 16,000 of city bikes. So we're going to use any number that is common between 24,000 and 16,000, and we see that that number is what, guys? What number does go into 24,000 and it also goes into 16,000?
Is it 4?
Hmm?
4.
4 is fine. Let's look for another one.
A
We
bigger
can
or
use
small?
4. We can use 4, right? But we
I think
want to
8.
look for, yes, 8. You know why are we checking 8, Pindi? Not to say 4 was wrong there. I'll show you.
Okay.
If we say 24,000 divided by 4,000, can you see what it gives us? 6.
Mhm.
And then this side, if we say 16,000 divided by 4,000, we get 4. We can still reduce this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
By using U2.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But if you want, you can actually use Ubani, 8,000, and 8,000, you can't reduce it anymore.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes.
So you can start there if you want, but just look for a higher number so that you don't have to reduce it again and again. Eh?
Also, if you sales mix as if you want, this is how you do it.
Yes, this is how you do it. Okay. All right. And then after that, what are we then going to do? We'll multiply our contribution because we want to get the weighted contribution. Right? Multiply by that. And then this multiply by that. And then our weighted contribution is going to be this plus this. Okay. That is our weighted contribution. Okay, I remember guys giving you the steps when we're doing this. I don't know if you guys still remember. Right? After this, we calculate our break-even batches. Your break-even batches, right? It's going to be this formula here that where you say break-even units, right? It actually gives you break-even batches, but that's the formula that we use. So it's going to be your fixed costs, your total fixed costs divided by your weighted contribution.
Hmm.
Let me see. 59. Okay. Mm, 1972. But here I'm getting this one. Where did I go wrong? 26,063, 3.8, 6,000. Lana, I used the 1.1 instead of 1. Yes, that's the correct answer. That's where I made a mistake. Remember various components. If you check your question, it's 1.1 for mountain bike and then 1 for city bike. So these will be your break-even batches. So your break-even units, so for electric mountain bike, and then for electric city bike, what we do is we take this, multiply by your sales mix. Sorry. We take your break-even batches, multiply by, and then the same thing this side. And then you calculate your total units. Total units. That's what the answer wanted. And this one, guys, I just want to emphasize something. Your batches, you'll always round up. Always. NB. And I remember, ulista waibuza na kutu, but why do you always round up? But that's the principle. Always round up. Please. All right, that's what they wanted there. For how many marks? For 16 marks. And this is a very, very, very topical thing. Very, very, very topical. So it's something that we really have to make sure that we understand. And I think we've done a couple of questions for us to still be having some confusions. Any issues there, Wanganman, for 16 marks?
Can I take you back, Hanman?
Mm.
How did you get to break-even batches?
How did we get to break-even batches?
Mm.
right? If break-even batches, it's your formula for your break-even units. Fixed cost divided by your weighted contribution.
Okay.
Anybody else who has a question? Please respond, guys, so that I know that we are moving together. We don't want to respond.
No further questions.
And then those other guys, our 5 mute guys, please guys don't go on mute because we need to discuss. If you're on mute, I feel like you guys are just listening and we are not moving together there. Any issues, guys? What must I say, Pindi? Ngoba your friends don't want to respond. Any issues, guys? Do we understand what's happening there? This is not
From my side,
yeah.
Just a quick one. So all the time, Nabati Amaton, so we need to convert them to kilograms.
I can tell you, Uti, you need to be very, very, very okay with that theory there. Sometimes you can get centimeters, but the price is in meters. So you have to convert your centimeters to meters. Right? Sometimes it can be anything. So it's not that always. When you must always check, okay, does the price agree, right, with the quantities that you are buying? And it also happens with labor, right? Because with labor, you saw Gucci, AMA units were being done in minutes, but you were being charged in hours. So you should always be comfortable with those ones. Sometimes if it's a millimeter in the exam.
So we should be able to convert to all those things.
I'm telling you. And it should be very fast and easy.
Why in this straightforward? Our phone is past.
No, but remember, Gucci, you guys are doing 3rd DMs now.
So why are they playing with our mind?
They are not. They are not. Yeah. So I can list. You guys are quiet. Are you guys okay? Or you're no longer here? You are gone.
I did understand. Thank you.
Lister.
I'm just concerned about like what you just answered to.
The thing is that I'm not even sure which question. So I am listening. I think
the question was sent on 7:43 in the morning.
But I hear what you're saying, but I didn't know which question you were doing. That's why I didn't say anything.
Senzo part A.
Okay, thank you.
So you're saying what is your concern?
Oh, like the like how you just answered that we must like sometimes maybe give us like meters and then we should know we should be able to convert like differently. So I'm concerned to say now how are we okay, I could say maybe we must try and get different questions to see if we can be able to convert.
My friend, you've got a question bank with 34 questions. 34 questions. How many more questions do you want? You know?
No, I'll just try like
Okay.
Yeah, not as a like it was the matter of trying to cram.
Yeah, but no, see, even your question, it's I think you've got 30 in your question bank. 30 questions. And you guys are done with assignment 2 today. So from today, Pindi, it's just your practice till you finish. My focus is going to be on FAC, my friend.
Huh?
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
going.
I'm saying from today, you are done with MAC 3701. What's left for you is to practice the questions in your question bank until you write your final.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No. Retla bjalo.
Yeah. Nire byalo ngempela ke sihle. All right, so let's move to question 2, which is our last question. Because I know we've got babies, so we don't have to take time. Some of us have got a lot of kids. All right, so let's move to part B. Part B, what do they want?
Statement. What plot?
Yes. Okay, let me open a different page for this one. And it's a very nice question, Magan Mama. I enjoyed it. Very, very nice. Preparation of, no, not here. I need to write it there, Pezo. Preparation of the actual, very key, actual statement of profit or loss for the year ended 31 December 2023. Okay, with this one, guys, let me start with calculation so that we move together. Remember, I don't want to confuse you. So they said we must have for each product, so it's MTB and then ECB and then your totals. Right? So here I'm gonna have calculations. Okay, so you must know Uguti, how your statement should look like if you are using absorption costing method. Oh, good. All right, our calculation number 1 will be our sales. Maybe let me insert another line here. It will be our sales. Okay, let's go check information for ourselves. Or go actual information we haven't read it. So let's go read go part 2. Part 2 about the actual results for the 2023 financial year. And as I asked, guys, please have the question open on your side. Okay, they said manufacturing and sales. Rising demand for electrical bikes resulted in intense competition in the market coming from new entrants. Production challenges also meant that the company could not take advantage of the demand trends. As a result, actual sales units were 8% lower than the budgeted. Okay, so your actual sales were 8% lower, right? So let's check that. Remember for MTB, it was 24,000. So it was 8% lower. So now it's going to be times 0.92. Okay. Remember your budgeted was 24,000. And then due to competition, your sales were 8% lower. So to get there, correct sales, you'll multiply by 0.92. Or if you want to take the longer route, you'll multiply by 0.8, you minus from 24 and stuff like that. Okay, and then for this one, is equals to budgeted yako, it was 16,000. multiplied by 0.92 also. Okay. And then your selling price per unit, we still haven't seen it. We'll check that one. And then let's check the next part there. The next part, they said, and the actual manufacturing levels were 5% lower than the budgeted. Right? Selling prices and sales mix were equal to the budget. There was no actual opening of any type at the beginning of 2023 financial year, and no closing direct raw materials at the end of the financial year. Okay. So on our calculation number 2, right, let's calculate our production levels as we are told. Right, so for MTB, it's going to be equals to 24,000 times 0.95, because they said your actual manufacturing was 5% lower. Right? And then for ECB, it's going to be 16,000 times 0.95. Right. Okay, and then opening, it's 0. And then closing, so for closing, it's going to be what you actually produced minus what you sold. What was actually produced and what you sold. Okay. And then our next one, sorry, Lena, I must bring it here. And then here put calculation 3. And then here put calculation 4. Okay. And then calculation 5, what are we doing? They said we are dealing with variable and fixed costs. Okay, and then on 2.2.1, they said due to global supply chain issues, there was a shortage of lithium batteries in the market, which resulted in a 10% increase in the price of batteries from the budget. So when we go back to our budgeted, to our lithium, right, your budget for lithium, it was 6,000, right? But now they're saying there was an increase of how much? 10%, which gives us 6,600. 6,000 times 1.10. Okay, I want us to do all of those calculations step by step, and then we can do the actual statement. And then they say there was a protected union strike as employees had not received salary increases in violation of a multi-year collective agreement with the unions. SN had to make use of semi-skilled, casual, and undocumented staff to make up for the lost production. These manufacturing staff's limited training and learning curve progression resulted in increase in manufacturing time to 2 hours per unit. And additionally, the idle time increased by 10%, right? The labor rate was lower at 90 per clock hour. Okay, so number 6, we are calculating our direct labor. Okay, initially, if you check in your budget, our budgeted direct labor was 90 clock minutes. However, in this case, because of the use of unskilled and because of the strike, right, we ended up using 120
Divide by 9.
because they said it's 2 hours divided by 60, right, times 90, which gives us 180. And then this side is equals to 120 also divided by 60 times 90.
And 8 is a
Okay. Unless otherwise stated, all the other applicable information will remain the same as 2023 financial year budgeted information. Sorry. Unless otherwise stated, all the other applicable information will remain the same as the 2023 financial year budgeted information. Okay. Then let's look at number 7. We will look at the applied, right? You must know you don't use the actual, you use the applied fixed manufacturing overheads. Okay. What is your formula for this one?
Godly.
Your formula is equals to budgeted, right, fixed manufacturing overheads divided by your allocation basis. And in this case, our allocation basis, if you read the budgeted information given on note 132, they said fixed manufacturing overhead costs are allocated based on budgeted labor hours, right? So your allocation base, in this case, it is your labor hours. Right, let's first calculate our budgeted budgeted fixed manufacturing overheads, of which it's given it is equals to 100 million, 123. Right, and then let's calculate our labor hours. Okay. Our budgeted labor hours, if you go back to our budgeted information, they said it's 90 clock hours per bike for both, right? So for this one, it's going to be equals to 90 divided by 60
times
multiplied by your budgeted number of units, which is 24,000. And then we get our total budgeted hours there.
6,000.
Yes. Okay. And then for ECB, it's going to also be 90 divided by 60 multiplied by 16,000. And then we get 24,000. And then in total, we get 60,000 hours. That will be your allocation. Okay. And then we can be able to calculate our allocation rate. Some people, they call it a recovery rate, which is going to be your budgeted fixed manufacturing overheads divided by your allocation basis, which is 335. Okay. And then on our calculation number 8, we'll calculate your allocated fixed manufacturing overheads. What is the formula? Your formula is equals to your allocation rate times your allocation basis. And in this case, our allocation basis, it's our labor hours. Sorry, guys, something very important here. Multiply by your actual allocation basis.
Singenze khulu sesidiniwe.
Ufuna ukwenza coffee? Okay, is it fine, guys, if we take a small break? 11 past 8, sishe thina siqale ngo-7. It's fine, but we can take a
Isikhathela
break.
phela sibuye emsebenzini hawa. Sabe sabhamuka
Alright.
emakhaya.
Let me see something. I don't know how to pause the record. I'll have to stop and then we start all over again. But you don't have to drop. You can just put on mute. Then
Okay.
then we'll continue. Now it's at 11 past. We'll continue on 20 past. It's fine.
Thank you.